Hi, and welcome back to my returning viewers. If you saw my last video, then you already know how my versus videos work, but to summarize, I have 5 rounds, the first being a DPS round, which this time around I will provide a visual for the kill time while also including the numbers near the end of the segment. The next round is usability, which is how easy or friendly a weapon is to use. Then the last 3 rounds are which weapon does better on a per faction basis. So, with the rules out of the way, on to the video. In the red corner, with the most powerful shells in the entire game, the Recoilless rifle! And in the blue corner, he doesn't last long, but he comes fast. The E.A.T! Round 1, begin! Alright, now that the visual representation is out of the way, as you can see that while the E.A.T can catch up against most enemies on the bug front and some bot enemies, once you move to tanks and above, it really starts to struggle due to not being able to have more than one shot at a time. Also, here's the numbers for you nerds out there, but yeah, the Recoilless takes this fairly easily. It's time for usability, and honestly, I gotta give it to the E.A.T for this. Now, you could say that the Recoilless is easier to use due to not needing to call it down repeatedly, but I'd counter that with the E.A.T doesn't even need to reload. You grab it, fire it, and throw it down. Nice, quick, and extremely easy. It's an early game stratagem for a reason, and without the need to time your reloads so you don't get ripped to pieces, in my opinion, there really isn't a debate. This point easily goes to the E.A.T. Alright, time to get into the faction specifics, starting with bugs. Now, for the bugs, like I already mentioned, both can easily kill the heavier enemies, and the E.A.T is more mobile as stated in the usability round. So this point should go to the E.A.T, right? Wrong. See, there's one thing I haven't mentioned for the Recoilless rifle, and that is the HE shells. The HE shells can add an extra layer of versatility that can only really be used on bugs. And with how many tanky, medium tier enemies there are on the bug front, being able to fire a round that will one-shot them while also taking out the lighter bugs around them just pushes this round into the favor of the Recoilless rifle. On the bots, it doesn't get much better for the E.A.T, as the Recoilless does more damage than the E.A.T, and it can only really keep up with Hulks and some tanks due to the E.A.T's limited ammo pool. But even ignoring that, it still can't keep up with the Recoilless' DPS and higher damage. Factory Striders almost require you to bring the Recoilless, as even with the eye weak point, it's still highly unlikely that you will land both eye shots back to back to kill the damn thing. So, while the E.A.T isn't a bad choice here, the Recoilless is still definitely the better option and destroys in effectiveness. Round 4 goes the Recoilless. The squids are almost a fair 50-50. The squids don't have many armored enemies, and the main one you will likely face is pretty easy to knock out with either of them, so it really comes down to preference. While the Recoilless has the HE, I can see a good reason for bringing the E.A.T over it, so long as... well, fuck the E.A.T, I guess. Sorry, I'm gonna be blunt. There wasn't a single thing the E.A.T has over the Recoilless other than versatility on this front. It was close before, while still leaning towards the Recoilless due to the HE, but the introduction of the Leviathan really just pushes for the Recoilless to be basically required on the squid front if you aren't running the AT in placement. So sadly, the E.A.T just can't keep up when its only advantage is versatility. And with the final score of 4-1, the Recoilless rifle utterly destroyed the E.A.T. Now, I know I sounded very harsh, but one thing to take into account is this is a direct comparison when it comes to the weapons themselves, and there are many X factors that go into picking a weapon for a loadout. It's just that the Recoilless as a standalone package is far more complete as an AT weapon, while the E.A.T has its place with its great use versatility in loadouts that run another stratagem weapon or a backpack. If we are comparing them as standalone weapons and stratagems, then the E.A.T quickly becomes inferior. Once again, don't take what I say as gospel. The last thing I would want is for my video to stagnate someone's weapon variety in a very rich and usable weapon sandbox. I believe that almost every weapon in this game has at least some sort of use case if you know how to use them right. So you reached the end of the video. I know this one was shorter than usual, but I'm still trying to, improve on this whole versus format as a whole. So if you have any, suggestions in the comments, please bring them up to me and I will listen to them. For those who are waiting for another how-to video as well, I will get another one out either next upload or the one after. It really depends on how I'm feeling. I'm kind of enjoying the switch up right now, and also I have a shorter length video going over the Warbond planned, I think to come out, I believe, a couple days after this. Basically just me giving my thoughts on it and, a quick weapon rundown, how I think the balance is going to go, that type of stuff before the release. But, that's really all from me, so see you next time. Bye-bye.